Yo, check it. Call Lil C's. Tell that motherfucker to bring me some motherfucking weed to his hospital, man. Fuck that. Tell Uncle Paul to go pick up 10,000 from Dez and go take about like 20 G's from Gino. Tell that motherfucker to get this nigga next door up out of here. That nigga be snoring all night. I can't sleep. And call that big butt nurse with the long hair to come suck my dick.
What's up, everybody? Bucks After Dark back. Like I said, quick upload. After like a 3-month hiatus, I had to make sure that we're back, we're consistent for playoffs. And before we kick this video off, I just want to apologize to I talk so much shit only because, and if you know this about me, I mean, there's like 5 teams that I just have to talk shit to, and the Bulls unfortunately are one of them. Now, before I get into this video, because the last video was very harsh on Bulls fans. Here's a playoff towel. I was not at the game, but had someone hook it up for me. If you wanted to know what that baby looks like when I was slapping. Oh my God. The green screen. Just says built for this, you know what I'm saying? But no. Apologies to the casual Bulls fan. You guys played a okay game. I'm not going to lie. You guys played an okay game. And it really came down to DeRozan. The Frozen. As Skip Bayless would say, or as fucking 12-year-olds on Twitter would say, they'd call him the Frozen. 6 for 25 is just not it. But outside of that, I mean, you got a good game out of Caruso, even though he was annoying the living fuck out of me. And the announcers, bro, the dick riding the announcers were doing, literally, because like he set like 2 charges and they're like, Caruso is taking over this game. Caruso is. Meanwhile, Giannis is 25 and 16. Like, bro, stop. And Giannis' stat line, he did not get minutes last night. So that stat line is fucking playoff. Giannis is ready. That's all I know. But you got a good game out of Caruso. I haven't looked at the box score. This is all off the dome. I think LaVine had a pretty good game. And if you looked at Vucevic's numbers, if you just looked at them like didn't look at his efficiency or anything, you'd probably think, oh, dude, Vooch stepped up this game. He's playing like prime Orlando Magic versus the Bucks in the bubble Vooch. This man was bad last night. I mean, every time I've watched him in the last like 3 meetings with the Bulls, like that shot just isn't knocked down. And rebounding and his interior defense isn't great. His back to the basket game is average. I don't know. And then you just watch Brook Lopez play. When Brook Lopez, at least I don't remember him getting an all-star in the last like 8 years. Maybe he got one with the Nets, but it's like this dude's clearly better. And it's crazy when you watch Brook, because I want to talk about Brook mostly today. When you watch Brook Lopez, you're like, dude, if you didn't have context and you didn't have bias and you didn't know, there's some really, especially in today's day and age with the centers just have risen this past couple of years. Like, Brook Lopez is a top 10 center in the league. And sometimes I do. I literally do. I mean, his interior defense is just fucking stellar. I mean, he just has big blocks. It's like there's always like at least 2 to 3 times a game where I'm like, that's an easy layup. And Brook, just like a fucking swinging tree, just with his fucking branch arms, just fucking yeets it, and then he starts clapping like that. I mean, it's just beautiful to watch. His 3-pointer. I mean, dude, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes Brook pulls a 3, and I'm like, dude, why that quick into the shot clock? Like, we got 4 to 5 guys on the court that can fucking score at any fucking time, So yeah, that shit was a little annoying. And his drop coverage D, which I think Bucks fans, including myself at the beginning, complained a lot about the drop coverage. And I think it's been 4 straight years now where we have allowed the most threes in basketball. And we have been, in the last 4 years, a top 3 to 4 team in basketball every single year. So say what you want about Mike Budenholzer. Say what you want, even, and I'm going to go in on Bud today as well, but say what you want about him when it comes to like Brooks drop coverage, man. Like, we win games. It pisses us off that possession, and then you forget about it sometimes. And when the shots don't fall, and that's the thing, the Bulls were not hitting any shots in the first quarter. When the shots start to fall, you get more angry. But I mean, it's clearly our game plan. I think you're going to have to adjust, though. You're gonna have to adjust with a team like the Bulls, who really has nothing down low, and they really just like shooting threes. Like that's really what they like doing. So I think Bud's gonna have to make an adjustment there. But Brook Lopez, shout out, big and ones. Like I said, his drop coverage can be annoying, and some threes he takes is questionable. But it's so clear. Him and Drew to me are just like their impact is when they're not there. It's so obvious. It's so fucking obvious. Um, and when they come back, we're just an infinitely better team every single time. Um, but let me talk about Mike Budenholzer. Let me talk about Mike Budenholzer. Like, you won us a championship. I mean, you were there when we won a championship last year. I do think some things you did last playoffs were beyond questionable. Sitting Bobby Portis all of the net series, giving Elijah Bryant minutes in the net series. Um, but then you turn around and you give us a series like Atlanta, and sometimes I'm like, dude, this guy might be a fucking evil genius. Like when I see that Atlanta series and how he just completely, when Giannis was out, he completely shifted the way we operate, the way we move the ball, and even the way we defend. I mean that Atlanta series, and then we go to the Phoenix series, and it was pathetic. The first two games of the series. And then I mean, I honestly think the Phoenix series was not Mike Budenholzer's best series, but I think Giannis was just, he's that fucking good where he willed us that win. I mean, we didn't even deserve to win game 6, but Giannis dropped 50, fucking like 40 rebounds or something crazy like that. But I want to talk about Bud this playoff. I saw Javon Carter get minutes today. I like to see that. I like Javon Carter minutes. I think every Bucks fan likes Javon Carter minutes. George Hill, man, just hasn't been what we needed from him. He clearly is in pain from neck surgery. I think he should not play the rest of the playoffs. I think Javon Carter should just take that role. I think everybody knows. I mean, he's a better defender. This year it seems to me he's been the same, if not a better shooter than George as well. And he's a pretty solid playmaker. I mean, nothing crazy. I mean, he's a backup point guard. I mean, we don't need him to play make too much, but he can. He can. And freak athlete too. So I like seeing him get minutes. At the end of the year, Javon was getting no minutes. And now we're gonna. But we traded Dante DiVincenzo. Say what you want about Dante DiVincenzo. We traded last year's supposed to be starter for the finals run. It was supposed not PJ. It was supposed to be Dante. If you went outside the Pfizer and you saw the starting five, Dante was on there because he was supposed to be one of the guys. Traded him once for Bogdanovich, who is proven to be a pretty damn good player, pretty fucking good scorer. And the league said, fuck you, Milwaukee. No, just fuck you, Milwaukee. So we didn't get him. But the Kings really wanted Dante, and I think we did a 3-trade deal, and we get Serge Ibaka, NBA champion Serge Ibaka, one of the greatest interior defenders I've ever seen in his prime. Obviously, he's not in his prime anymore, but he's transformed his game. He's become a stretch big who still has really good interior defense. Brooking him down low would be a problem for a lot of teams in the NBA. Believe it or not, Serge Ibaka and Brook Lopez would be that'd be a fucking squad. But no, we saw Serge. I was at Serge's first game, actually. We saw Serge Ibaka. And he looked pretty good. He looked pretty good at first. I mean, it took him like a week or two to get in, buy into what we were doing here. He looked really good and then fucking vanished. We have not seen Serge Ibaka unless it's garbage minutes of a game. And I just look at so many offensive rebounds the Bulls got on us last night, and I'm like, how are you not? And Pat, I love Pat, but I feel like Pat's like a mood thing for me. If Pat is not hitting his shots that game, I mean, decrease his minutes a little bit. I'm not saying give Serge 20 minutes. I'm saying, find a way to get him what you gave Javon. Give him 10 minutes, So that is going to piss me off. That is going to, especially if we keep getting killed on the fucking boards like that. That shit is going to piss me off. But yeah, I think the Bucks go for the sweep. I think we suck game 1s. I think Bud really just goes into these fucking series raw dogging. I think he just goes in no protection, just says, hey, boys, play random. Let's fucking get it. And against teams like the Bulls, that's gonna work. I mean, that's gonna work. I mean, you saw we played a fucking probably our worst game of the fucking year. The worst playoff game I've seen. I think it was even worse than the Heat game last year. I mean, I was looking at the fourth quarter, like halfway through, we had like 80 points, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is this against the Bulls? They have not like, come on. But Giannis got in foul trouble early. Middleton had a very bad game. Drew had a pretty shit game, but Drew Holiday comes big down the stretch. And you know what? That's why I will never be pissed at Drew, just because I know he's gonna hit it when I'm at, like he's not gonna miss a big shot. Knock on wood, he's not gonna miss a big fucking shot. So, guys, yeah, game 2, I'm thinking the Bucks steamroll them. Like, no, I'm not trying to be overly confident or anything, but that's what happened a lot last year. I remember game 1 against the Heat, we played terrible. Game 2 against the Heat, Bryn Forbes dropped 75 points, and we won by like 50. Did Atlanta beat us game 1? Came out the next game, won by like 40. So I mean, unless it's like a really good team like Brooklyn or Phoenix last year, like I think that should have been a wake up call for us. I think Giannis needs to be like, yo, I got to be more careful when I drive into the lane, but also I got to drive into the lane more because they have nothing for me. I think Brook needs to keep doing him. We know Chris is going to have a better game. You just know he is. He's not going to just dud against the Bulls. I mean, he knows this is probably going to be his easiest round offensively. So yeah, he's going to cook. I'm seeing 30 to 40 point game at least once from Chris this series. Drew, keep doing you. I hope Pat picks it up. Bobby, I need you a little bit more consistent from the free throw line, but I liked what I saw from you. And I love the Bobby energy already back in the Fiserv. It's fabulous to see. And yeah, I just think we're wasn't it definitely wasn't the best. It definitely wasn't the best start to the playoffs, but neither was last year at all. So, and we ended up sweeping the Heat. So I think that's what we're all thinking right now. I mean, let's hope. And I also think it's a week off our rust. I mean, dude, basketball, I feel like any other sport, rust isn't as equivalent. Um, but for basketball, it really is, man. Just being in like a game situation. Like, yeah, you can scrimmage at practice, but being in like a game situation, shooting the ball, running your offense, running your defense rotations, all that type of stuff is it's in the and then you got to go right to playoffs. It's going to be an adjusting period, man. And I mean, like I said, Bulls gave it their best shot, but we're the Bucks, baby. We defending champs. Bucks in 4. I'm still going Bucks in 4. I think that was the Bulls' best chance to get a W, but it doesn't matter because it's year of the fucking deer. It's year of the deer. It's year of the deer. Last year's year of the deer? No, it's the deer of the decade, dude. So, guys, if you haven't been checking on, like I said, Twitter's down below. I do have an Instagram. Fucking Instagram's hard, dude. You got to like edit pictures and find good box scores and crop and dude, Instagram's hard. But you know what? I tried it, and you know what? You can follow it. I'm probably just gonna post clips from the YouTube on it and maybe some tweets I do. Just throw it on there. It's not nothing crazy, but just in case you don't use Twitter because it's so toxic, which I understand. Hop onto the Instagram. But yeah, guys, we're gonna be dropping a game 2. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the Deer District round 1. I mean, it's last year it was cooler because last year was fucking hotter because the season COVID season or whatever. So like, it started almost in the summer. If you don't know, if you don't live in Wisconsin, bro, it fucking snowed here today, dude. I fucking woke up and just saw snow outside and I'm like, dude, holy fuck. But yeah, guys, we're gonna keep these videos popping. Maybe we can get a guest on one of these, get some different takes. So I'm not my own echo chamber like this. But yeah, guys, keep it locked. It's gonna be Bucks in